From the glamorous design director. Reduced to a battered divorced woman. My love-obsessed brain got me into all kinds of trouble. I'm winning. From childhood to adulthood, I've lived under the envious gazes of others. My father runs a business dealing in building materials. My mother is a middle school teacher. Well-off family. I was admitted to a prestigious high school through a special admission program. Graduated from a prestigious university and became the design director at a foreign company. Annual salary starting at $300,000. Accountant certificate. Senior designer certificate. What others take years to learn. I passed it on the first try. I thought that with hard work, there's nothing in life that can't be achieved. Until I met him. I just realized that some of these pitfalls are... I jumped in with my eyes open. I met Chunmo at an industry cocktail party. He was wearing a suit that didn't fit him properly. Standing awkwardly in the corner, holding a glass of juice in my hand. My friend said his family isn't well off. Just starting a business after coming from the countryside. But I feel his gaze is pure and honest. With an indomitable spirit, friends all advise me to think things through. Saying we don't belong in the same world, I smiled and shook my head. I believe love should be pure. Talking about money is too vulgar. As long as two people truly care for each other, days can always be made good. 3rd year of dating. I held it in my hands with great joy for the very first time. I want to surprise him with the pregnancy test results. However, he refused to have a child on the grounds that it was a critical period for his startup. I cried all night long. He hugged me and promised that once the project stabilized, he would marry me in style. To keep this relationship alive, I went into the operating room alone. The anesthesia wears off after the surgery. The pain is excruciating. He's busy working on projects at the company. Just ordered a bowl of millet porridge for me to go. I gritted my teeth and endured the pain, trying desperately to convince myself everything he does is for our future. In the 2 years that followed, I had 2 more surgeries. Every time, he always has a reason. Critical financing period. My mother-in-law isn't in good health. The company is facing financial difficulties. I compromise every time. Every time I comfort myself like this. He has his reasons for doing so. The doctor said my uterine wall is getting thinner and thinner. If I scrape it again, I might not be able to get pregnant anymore. I'm hiding it from him. Afraid of putting pressure on him. He finally mentioned getting married casually during a meal. I'm overjoyed to tell my parents. The day we discussed the betrothal gifts, my parents booked the best private room. But his parents wore old clothes and pretended to be poor. Even if I sold everything I had, I could only come up with $38,000, and includes 3 gold awards. Looking at me with pleading eyes, my dad had no choice but to endure in silence. I advised my parents that love can't be measured by money. Received $38,000 to save face for him. I even spent 800 yuan on it myself. Got a moissanite ring. My sister cried her heart out of concern. I humiliate myself out of anger. Too unmaterialistic. I laughed at him for not understanding love. My dad's bottom line is that we must buy a house. But when he went to view the property, damn it. Always choosing those old, dilapidated buildings without elevators. Still finds fault with everything. And all I need is for him to hold my hand. Just don't feel wronged at all. In the end, my dad couldn't stand it anymore. Selected a fully furnished apartment in the city center with an 800,000 yuan down payment. His family will pay 400,000. My family paid 400,000 to make up for it. My parents also gave a dowry. A car worth 250,000 and a prime business location. Left us enough room to retreat. Taking wedding photos, he took me to the small photography studio run by his cousin. No outdoor shots. The makeup artist was actually his cousin herself. There are only 2 wedding dresses that can be worn. They've all turned yellow too. He said I look good in anything I wear. I really believed it. Thinking about it now, what's good looking about it? There's no choice at all. My dad handled all the renovation work. A person in their 50s, spending every day in the building materials market. When herniated disc symptoms flare up, just apply plasters and endure it. 𝒸𝓃 played games at home on the weekend. Not even a phone call. I couldn't help but say a few things to him. He, on the contrary, acted with complete confidence and righteousness. Your dad is fixing up the house for his daughter. It's not for my sake anyway. What does it have to do with me? My dad is worried that we'll have trouble parking in winter. Spent another 80,000 on an underground parking spot. I handed the property ownership certificate to 𝒸𝓃. He didn't even say thank you. Poutingly said, "Your family is willing to buy it. I didn't force you to do this." That sentence pierced my heart like a thin needle. But I still make excuses for him. He says that starting a business comes with a lot of pressure, and he speaks bluntly. The 4th year after marriage, I've finally gotten pregnant again after much effort. This time I took great care to protect the fetus. Vomiting during pregnancy is so severe that blood is vomited. It's all my mom who crosses over every day. Half the city came to cook for me. My mother-in-law said that farm work in the countryside is very busy. Never been here once. Didn't even bring an egg with them. I comfort myself. It's not easy being an elderly person. Can't argue with that. The day my daughter was born, my mother-in-law called me overnight. The first sentence isn't asking how I am. It means I should hurry and call my mom to help me with the postpartum care, saying she can't leave during the dog days. My mom endures 40-degree heat every day. Running to the hospital with soup and drinks in hand. My back is covered in sweat stains. I cried under the covers. 𝒸𝓃 still thinks I'm being pretentious. Who says women from certain families don't give birth? After having a child, every day is filled with trivial matters. Money for milk powder, diapers, and mortgage payments. Every expense can lead to arguments. Every time we argue, he'll always stand by their side. It's not easy at all. His sister is in trouble. Everyone in the family has their own difficulties. Only I am an outsider. You'll always have to adapt to their family's rules. He gets annoyed whenever the child cries, yelling at me to call my mom over. It's only natural for a grandmother to take care of her granddaughter. The real collapse happened one deep night. He forgot to bring his phone when taking a shower. A WeChat message popped up. It was posted by a female streamer. "Thank you, big brother, for the rocket." I somehow unlocked the password as if possessed. The whole body became stiff. He tipped more than a dozen female streamers. The maximum amount per transaction is 5,000. There are also WeChat chat records. Calling everyone baby. Showing concern and kindness towards others. Even gentler than when he speaks to me. I bought one for over 100 yuan at home. It takes half a day just to compare prices for nursing clothes. He gives gifts to other women online. Didn't even blink an eye. When he came out, he saw me holding my phone. Not only do they refuse to admit their mistakes, also, she threw a cup at me and yelled at me. "Why are you going through my phone? I can spend the money I earn however I want. Others can make me happy. You act like a whiner every single day." I actually started to reflect on things seriously. Have my temper gotten worse since having the baby? Am I not gentle enough? He went outside to seek comfort. For the sake of the child, I endured it. I told myself, men are under a lot of stress, just playing around. It hadn't been half a year since things settled down. He knelt in my living room in the middle of the night and slapped himself. Said they owe 300,000 on online loans and can't pay it off. My head buzzed loudly. My legs are completely weak. But seeing his swollen nose and face, I'm actually feeling sorry for it. I force myself to stay calm. Check his accounts item by item. The truth pierces the heart like a knife. No startup failures. I wasn't deceived by anyone. It's all money spent on lottery and sports betting games. There's also a 300,000 reward for the streamer. Not a single penny was spent on this house. He's still stubbornly refusing to give in. People say they play the lottery and bet on sports to make big money. Let me and my daughter live a good life together. It's just bad luck. Then he took my hand and said, "Honey, go back to your parents' house and get 300,000 from them to cover the expenses for now. I'll pay them back double once I've made a profit again." I stared at his face. Suddenly felt incredibly foreign. Over the years since we got married, my parents bought a house, a car, and a parking space. He invested all his life savings in us. I gritted my teeth and said, "You owe it to yourself, so you should pay it back yourself?" I just took my daughter to beg for money. I would never touch my parents' money set aside for their retirement. Seeing that I wouldn't budge, he packed his things and left, saying they go to other places to work with friends and earn more money there. I know he's hiding from his debts. After he left, collection calls were made to our company. Send it to my relatives and friends. A bunch of unpleasant things to say. My daughter just started kindergarten. Cries every day for her dad. I'm carrying everything on my own. Hair is falling out in large amounts. Half a year later, he suddenly came back. Brought a bunch of cheap flowers. Speaks in a particularly gentle manner. I know that when something goes against the norm, there's surely something strange going on. Sure enough, he said that online loans keep piling up over time. Let me go with him to borrow money from his aunt. She also said that the aunt required both husband and wife to sign for it to be valid. I understood it instantly. He wanted to turn his personal gambling debts into joint marital debts. Pull me into the water too. I refused with a cold laugh. He slammed the door and left. Call me a coward for not helping when someone's in trouble. It wasn't long before his haughty and arrogant older aunt came to visit him. Just sat down on the sofa without even changing shoes. Just tell me to use the house as collateral to pay off the debts. I refused outright. She immediately turned hostile. It's said that her brother owns half of the house. Sell the house without collateral. If you can't continue living like this, then leave. The words divorce came out of his mouth, light and fluffy. It's as if they're talking about some trivial matter of no importance. I became calmer instead. Leave whenever you want to. But they want to take away the house that my parents paid for with their own money. There isn't even a door. We're officially separated. 2 full years. He doesn't pay any child support at all. Don't even look at the child. It's like they've vanished without a trace. But as long as they're not divorced, his bad debts keep haunting me. The collection calls are made from different numbers each time. The unit leaders all talk to me. I finally understand. This marriage is nothing but a cancer. If you don't cut me off from my daughter, we'll never have peace. In order to get divorced as soon as possible, I agreed to sell the house. The day the intermediary signed the contract, I looked at his face, pale and worn out from exhaustion. A face with cloudy eyes. Just feel disgusted. Urgently selling, no price fixed. After deducting the loan, calculate based on 1% of the down payment ratio. My family actually invested 380,000 yuan out of our own pocket. In the end, only 160,000 was brought back. This is the price of my 5-year marriage. The day of the move, I touched the walls that my dad had painted himself. Read it over and over again. I had someone destroy all the furniture that my parents bought back then. Sell as scrap. I'd rather be reduced to ashes. Not even a fraction of it was left for their family. The day I walked out of the civil affairs office with the divorce certificate in hand. The sun is particularly dazzling. I didn't cry. I'm not reluctant to let go either. It's like the feeling of finally emerging from deep waters. Breathing heavily, come back to life. Looking back on these past few years, like a ridiculous nightmare, I'll go my own way regardless. I'm like a moth flying into the flame. I keep saying I'm marrying love. In the end, they were completely defeated. It's all because of my incurable love-obsessed brain. I thought I didn't want a dowry. Don't get a diamond ring. Buying a RV at a loss. It can bring true sincerity in return. I thought I was giving in step by step. Every compromise. It can be exchanged for something precious. In the eyes of selfish people, that's not true love, it's cheapness. It's okay to be bullied. There's never been any relationship in this world that is built on the sacrifices of one person alone. You keep lowering the bottom line further and further. Can't exchange for love. It only serves to encourage the other party to be even more demanding. This life is like a dungeon to overcome. I came out of this battle completely battered. Health bar is at 0. But at least I made it out alive. Do you believe in fate? A long time ago, the fortune teller labeled me as someone who would die young. Plus, I'm an illegitimate daughter who can't be shown in public. Since I can remember, the phrase bad luck is just like, it's etched into my bones like a curse. My mom is what outsiders call the third party in the relationship. My dad has his own family. My mom and I live in the old town area. In a tiny rented room. He occasionally comes by and drops some money. Can't sit for 10 minutes before leaving. Every time he comes, my mom wants to hide me in the back room. Told me not to make a sound. I just peeked through the crack in the door. The back of that stranger? I thought to myself, is this really my dad? The neighbor's kid called me a bastard. I rushed forward to fight with them. Return home with the face covered in injuries from the beating. My mom doesn't ask for reasons. They just started beating me mercilessly. She was crying while hitting me, saying I'm not good enough, that I'm worthless, saying that her whole life is ruined because of me. I stood there, taking the beatings. My face feels burning hot, but inside I feel numb. I've been used to it for a long time. I only found out later. After he's gone, I'll hide in the kitchen and cry for a long time by myself. Crying over his own fate. Crying over my fate too. I was just too young at that time. I could only see the slap he gave me. At the age of 13, I've been diagnosed with severe depression. When the doctor was talking to my mom while holding the report sheet, I sat on the plastic chair in the hallway, staring blankly at the tiles on the floor. I actually knew all along that something was wrong with me. Couldn't sleep all night long. Staring at the blackboard in class during the day. Can't read a single word. Eating is like chewing wax. Walking as if stepping on cotton. The world before my eyes is covered in a layer of gray. No matter how I wipe it, it won't go away. This is the first time I've taken sleeping pills. It was the afternoon after I had a fight with my mom. With a hint of defiance annoyance. I want her to regret it. I took out the medicine bottles from her nightstand. Pour out a handful. Swallowed it all down with cold water. I'm lying in bed. Wait, let darkness swallow me up. But I didn't get to wait. When my mom came back and found it, I still have a half breath left. She screamed and dragged me to the hospital for gastric lavage. The moment the tube was inserted into the throat. What I think about is how even dying can be so painful. The second time was when I drank pesticide. By then, it wasn't just out of spite anymore. I really think life is meaningless. I sneaked over to the agricultural supplies store at the entrance of the village. Bought the cheapest herbicide available. I'm hiding in an abandoned old house. My hand was shaking as I unscrewed the bottle cap. A pungent smell rushed up to my nose. I took a big gulp with my eyes closed. I still remember that smell to this day. Bitter and burning. It's like someone poured scalding molten iron into my stomach. Still didn't manage to die after all. Discovered by villagers passing by. Sent to the hospital for gastric lavage. Laid down for half a month. My dad came by once. Threw the money down and cursed, calling it a shameless act. Turned around and left. Third time taking cephalosporins with liquor. I saw it online. Saying this could kill people. During that time, I felt completely numb. Like a walking corpse. When swallowing the medicine mixed with alcohol, I even felt a slight sense of relief. It's not a longing for the afterlife. I just simply don't want to wake up anymore. But fate once again threw me back. When my mom found it, I've been unconscious, cured for a whole day and night. When I woke up, seeing her sitting by the hospital bed, my hair has turned completely white. He didn't curse me, he just cried. Crying very softly, as if afraid of startling me. The fourth time, I found a rope. Hide in the woods behind the hill. That was the most reckless move I've ever made. The first 3 attempts failed. I don't believe I'll survive this time either. I tied the rope to the crooked-necked tree. Step on the stone. The moment the hood was put on, my mind is actually calm. But the rope broke. I fell to the ground. A red mark appeared around the neck from being strangled. It hurts so much I'm in tears. I'm sitting in the mud, looking at that tree and the half-cut rope. Suddenly laughed. Can't stop laughing. Laughing and laughing, I ended up crying. I guess I can't even die properly. After that, I was sent to a mental hospital. For 2 months, that place felt like another world. Iron doors and windows. Take medicine, eat meals, and go for walks at fixed times every day. I didn't say anything when I first went in. Don't take any medicine either. The nurse forced the medicine into my mouth while holding my head still. I watched the various people in the ward. Some people talked to the wall all day long. Someone suddenly started crying. Some people are so quiet they seem to not exist at all. I guess I'm actually the same kind of person as them. Gradually, I started taking medication. Start talking to the doctor. The doctor is a very kind and gentle lady. She doesn't try to give me any long-winded lectures. Just listen to me. I said I was an illegitimate child. They say my dad doesn't want me. They say my mom hates me. I feel like being alive is a mistake. He just listened quietly. After listening, he said, "It's not your fault." I've remembered this sentence my whole life. The day of discharge. The sunlight is too bright. I'm standing at the hospital entrance, squinting at the sky. Feels like I had a very long dream. My mom came to pick me up. She's lost a lot of weight. Also much older now. She held my hand. Her hands were very cold. Keep shaking. We didn't say a word all the way. Back home, life goes on as usual. My dad comes by occasionally. The neighbors still keep gossiping. The way my classmates look at me in school is like I'm some kind of monster. But something inside me has changed. That doctor's words were like a seed, buried deep in my heart, although it hasn't sprouted yet. But it's there. I didn't want to continue my studies after graduating from junior high school. My mom cried and tried to persuade him, but it was useless. I packed my backpack, bought a hard-seat ticket to Beijing. The night before leaving, I pressed the ticket under the kettle. My mom was operating the sewing machine with her back to me. Said coldly, "If I leave, I'll die outside. Don't come back the next morning." There's a stack of change wrapped in plastic bags in my bag. There are over 300 pieces. At 16, I drifted north alone. Can't tell the difference between subways and high-speed trains. The address of that underground youth hostel, which costs 38 yuan per night. My palms are covered in sweat. Changed trains 3 times on the subway. Only managed to find the place when it got dark. It was a damp, musty dormitory with 8 beds. Throw the bag on the bedside table. Listening to the hustle and bustle of Beijing outside, I suddenly burst into tears. It's not sadness. Rather, I finally escaped the place where I was buried alive. My first job was washing dishes at a restaurant. Standing for 12 hours a day, bowing one's head and enduring the boss's insults. The day the first month's salary is paid, I'll leave the money for the meal. Send the remaining money to my mom secretly. It was returned to me intact within a few days. Fu Yanlan's mind was completely blank. The refund slip for the bedroom is stuck there. In the bone-chilling wind of Beijing, I suddenly understood. The irredeemable debt between me and my daughter throughout our lives. Can only keep wasting time with this kind of silent stubbornness. Later, I changed many of the lowest level components. Jobs that pay the least money. Drifting from one basement to another. When I was poorest, I ate only one steamed bun a day. Even had a high fever so severe that I was delirious. Lying in bed thinking, will I just die like this? But the next day, I woke up with no fever. I get up to have a cup of hot water. Going to work again. An auntie who comes here often noticed that my hands were red from the cold and gave me a pair. Crooked, indigo-colored knitted gloves. That bit of kindness from strangers. I got through Beijing's coldest winter with your support. Strangely enough, those days of displacement and hardship actually became a remedy. I'm too tired to do anything but go to bed right away every day. No time for random thoughts. I also realized that everyone has their own difficulties. It's not just me struggling in the mud. Later, I started traveling. Just make enough money and then leave. Work after spending it all. Taking the slowest green-colored train. Take the longest path. While in Dali, a kind woman took me in at an inn as a volunteer, providing me with food and lodging. Wipe the table every day. Welcome and see off guests. When I'm free, I go for walks by the 𝒸𝓃𝓃𝒹. The wind on the face feels very pleasant. On the way, I listened to the teacher who went to teach in the countryside. The story of Uncle Wanhua and the girls who also escaped. Starting to learn how to talk to people. Learning to laugh makes life seem not so bad after all. I truly came to understand it by the Qinghai Lake. A few Tibetan children were chasing each other in the distance. The laughter was clear and crisp. Suddenly, a girl with pigtails ran over. He shoved a small yellow wildflower into my hand, then laughed and ran away again. I held that flower, still warm from the sun. Tears fell without any warning. I remember when I was a child, the fortune teller's prediction that I would die young. Remembering those 4 times I rushed headlong into death in such a miserable state. Remembering the iron gates of the mental hospital. The crowd at Beijing West Station. 38 yuan per bowl at this youth hostel. Sore, swollen feet from washing dishes. And the gloves of the auntie at the milk tea shop. All the good and bad people I've encountered along the way. It all rushed to my mind at this very moment. Remember that person who only knew how to throw money around, and the man who called me shameful and disgraceful. I realized I could no longer remember what he looked like. Something that once made me too ashamed to lift my head. About bastards and the shadow of fatherly love. Under the vast afterglow of Qinghai Lake. Finally, it shattered into sand and was carried away by the wind. I looked at the soft, sticky little flowers in my hands, still warm from being held. Speak softly to the lake's surface. I survived. The wind blew the flowers into the setting sun. I cried for a long time. The stone that had been weighing on my heart for years finally shattered. I'm 19 years old now. Still a travel volunteer with no money. But I can eat it. I'll laugh if I can fall asleep. Also looking forward to tomorrow. There are still times when it's difficult to get through. Waking up in the middle of the night. I'd hear passengers next to me talking about their homes. The shadows of childhood still hide in wait. Pinch me in the corner. But I'm no longer afraid. I know I'm in a terrible hand. Illegitimate daughters lead to broken families. Severe depression. Haven't read very many books. Did I ever consider simply giving up and admitting defeat? But now I know. A bad hand doesn't mean you can't play. Leaving one by one, taking slow paths and detours. It doesn't matter if you stumble or fall. As long as I don't leave my seat. This round isn't over yet. The morning sun shone on the back of my hand. I tucked that withered wildflower into my notebook. Get up and water the flowers in the yard. I know that one day, eventually, it will happen. It will bloom with beautiful flowers. If it's gone, then it's gone. Anyway, I never intended to have your child. The moment those words left his mouth, I suddenly don't want to keep bothering anymore. I thought the child was a chip in my hands. Yet I didn't realize that the feelings had changed for the worse. No matter how hard you try, you can't keep them. I pestered my husband for 3 whole years. Until he was in the hospital hallway, to me, who had just had a miscarriage, said something lightly. In that moment, I covered my still blooding stomach. Suddenly laughed. It turns out I've devoted my whole heart to this marriage for 5 years. In the end, all I deserved was such a reply. Despair as if falling into an ice cave. My name is 𝒁𝒾𝓉𝓒𝒹. I'm 28 years old. At the age of 22, I just graduated and am working as a design assistant. Met Lu Chun, the department director. He was wearing a white shirt, wearing glasses with thin frames. There are slight dimples when smiling. He carefully took care of mine. Froze hands stuffed into coat pockets, telling me as a girl, cold hands can lead to uterine coldness. Also remain quiet during dinners. Please replace the wine with warm water for me. Block all the difficulties for me. Drunk, still managing to walk around despite being unsteady. Most of the city drove me home. My parents divorced when I was young. Growing up with my grandmother, others give me 1 point of praise. I give my all to repay it. Lu Qian's restrained tenderness, like a piece of wood floating on water when drowning. Let me do everything in my power to be good to him. Washing shirts and preparing lunch boxes. He even remembers that he wants 2.5 spoons of sugar in his coffee. A year later, he knelt on one knee and proposed to me. He said with red eyes, "After this summer, I'll give you a home. Your hands keep my hands warm." That day I cried non-stop, thinking about all the hardships I endured over the first 20-odd years. It's altogether enough luck to meet him. The first 2 years of marriage were really good together. He remembered every anniversary. When I get my period, he made brown sugar ginger tea. In winter, when watching TV, I always put my feet in my arms to keep them warm. I even resigned from my job. Focus on keeping the house spotless while staying at home. Keep his life well organized. I thought I'd take good care of my husband. Marriage is unbreakable. The problem started in the 3rd year. He started coming home late. The phone was always placed face down on the table. Even when taking a bath, bring it into the bathroom with you. An unfamiliar scent of perfume. Long hair on the collar. Amorous messages at 2 a.m. Everything feels like a needle. I couldn't sleep all night because I was so upset. Questioning him for the first time, he calmly said it was a colleague. In return, hug me, Zisha. Why have you become so suspicious? I actually believed it. I blame myself for overthinking things. I especially made his favorite sweet and sour pork ribs as an apology. Until that day, I'm going to the company to deliver some documents. Saw him hugging someone in the underground parking lot. A girl in a white dress walked into the elevator. The girl's eyes curved into smiles, just like me when I first met him. I'm standing behind the pillar, shaking all over. The file bag in my hand was crumpled from being held tightly. Didn't rush up to tear it apart. Just stood there quietly, without crying at all, watching them disappear together behind the elevator doors. That night, he went home. I asked him if there was someone outside. He was stunned for a moment, admitted it calmly. No explanation, no apology, just said it was 𝒁𝒾𝓉𝓒𝒹. Let's get divorced. That kind of panic I felt when my mother left me behind as a child. I grabbed his arm, talking nonsense. Tell me what I'm doing wrong and I'll fix it. Say I can pretend not to know. As long as you don't leave me, anything is fine. He just pushed me away with a frown. 𝒁𝒾𝓉𝓒𝒹, can you please stop being so humble? From that day on, I began a 3-year ordeal struggle. He moved to the guest room. I go knocking on doors every day with milk in my hands. He doesn't go home for meals. I've prepared the bento. Just leave it at the front desk and go. He blocked me on WeChat. I'll just change my phone number to send text messages. Says the cat misses him. The stomach medicine is about to expire. Did you bring an umbrella since it's raining? The first thing I do every day when I wake up is to check my phone. He waited until 3 or 4 in the morning. He replied, that'll make me happy for the whole day. If you don't reply, I'll delete our previous chats. Reading over and over again until my eyes hurt. Friends all advise me to let go. It's not worth it. I can't listen to it. I always feel that all those years of affection. How can something just disappear like that? I keep thinking that I should hold on a little longer. He always looks back. He's becoming colder and colder towards me. I had a fever of 39 degrees and called him. He only said that he went to the hospital. I'm busy, so I'm hanging up now. But I still refuse to let go. Like a gambler who's gone completely crazy with gambling. Lost everything completely. I always feel like I'll turn things around with the next hand. I've worn myself out to the point of being neither human nor ghost. So thin that it's unattractive to look at. The girl who used to love smiling. Later I couldn't even cry out loud. The cheapest one was on her birthday. I ordered a mango cake. Made a whole table's worth of dishes. Waiting from afternoon until 2 a.m. He's back. Wearing a sweet, cloying scent of women's perfume. There's also a faint lipstick mark on the neckline. I didn't say anything. Stand up and help him hang his coat. Still smiling, asking if the cake needed to be warmed up. He waved his hand. Straight into the guest room. The moment the door clicked shut. I stared at the table full of cold, untouched dishes. Stood there for a very, very long time. I despise myself. But I just can't bear to part with it. The worst part was that weekend. I'm making pork rib soup at home. Hearing the door open, excitedly carried the soup out. I saw him standing at the door with that girl. The girl was arm in arm with him, curiously examining the room. Lu Chun saw me. The first reaction was to shield the girl behind me. Frowning, he said, "Why are you at home?" That tone made it seem like I was some stranger who had intruded into his home. I'm holding a bowl of hot soup in my hands. Didn't even take off the apron. Standing in the smell of cooking fumes, suddenly laughed. I'm the rightful mistress of this home. How can one live like a part-time cleaner who comes in to do chores? I silently put the soup back in the kitchen and closed the door. Crouched on the ground, covering her mouth and crying, "Don't dare make a single sound." Afraid that people outside will hear the joke, I keep telling myself to wait a little longer. He'll come back when he's done playing. What really broke me down was last winter. I am pregnant. My hands were shaking violently as I held the test results. Thought the child could keep him around. Thought this family could hold together after all. I rushed to his company excitedly, hoping to give him a surprise. Turns out I saw him there downstairs, accompanying someone. That girl came out of the obstetrics and gynecology department. The girl was holding her waist. Pale complexion. He carefully protected it, holding a bag in one hand and resting an arm on the other. Her gaze is so gentle, it seems like tears might fall from it. That kind of tenderness. I haven't seen him in 3 years. The wind was very strong that day. I stand in the cold wind, with a newly sprouted little life inside me, watching my husband protect another woman. I subconsciously clenched my hands together.
Icy cold.
Suddenly remembered that winter from many years ago. He put my hand in his pocket. Said that from now on it would all be his to keep warm. It turns out that promises are just that, promises. The person who said it has long forgotten. The listener foolishly remembered it for many years. On the way back, I'm lost in thought. Fell down the stairs after stepping on empty space. The child wasn't saved. Lying in the hospital bed, the anesthesia has just worn off. There are intermittent cramps in the lower abdomen. The nurse called him over. He stood by the bed, well dressed in suits and leather shoes. Expressionless, just like coming to see an ordinary colleague. I watched her cry. At that time, I was even thinking about it. It's okay if the child is gone. As long as he hugs me. Just saying it's okay. There will be more in the future. As long as he warms my cold hands, I really can hold on for another 3 years. Just a little bit of tenderness is enough. And then he spoke up and said, "If it's gone, then it's gone. Anyway, I never wanted your child anyway." He's so light and airy. It's as if they're saying that the weather isn't good today. I was stunned. My stomach still hurts. Suddenly, the pain disappeared. I stared straight at him. I've been looking at it for a long time. This is the one I've loved for 5 years. The man I've been with for 3 years. This is the man who promised to give me a home all those years ago. It turns out that in his heart, I, along with my child, it was never part of his plans. I suddenly started laughing. Tears streamed down my face. It's not sadness, but rather relief. The heavy stone that had weighed on my chest for 3 years finally fell to the ground. I wiped away my tears. She calmly pressed the call button on the bedside table. When the nurse came in, I pointed at him and said, "Please ask this family member to leave. Thank you." "I don't want to see him." His face changed right away at that moment. Probably didn't expect it. Someone who can't be driven away no matter how hard you try to get rid of them. They can turn hostile at any moment. After he left that day, I lay there for a long time. Didn't cry or make a fuss. I keep wondering what I've actually been doing these past 3 years. Live your life as a joke, making life a complete mess. Take the one with the light in its eyes. 𝒁𝒾𝓉𝓄 completely lost it. Just for such a man. On the day of discharge, I just signed the divorce agreement. The property division he proposed, I signed without even reading it. Those things can't bring back 5 years of youth. It can't bring back my child who's gone. But I'm too lazy to argue anymore. The weather was great on the day we got our divorce certificates. Coming out of the Civil Affairs Bureau,
He stood on the steps as if he wanted to say something.
I didn't wait for him to speak. Turned around and left. No turning back. It was really difficult during the period right after the divorce. Woke up in the middle of the night. I habitually want to reach for my phone to message him. Only when I picked it up did I remember that we weren't related anymore. It still happens instinctively on rainy days. Worried whether he brought an umbrella or not. When I realized it, I thought it was funny. Habits are truly terrifying. 5 years of relationship, 3 years of entanglement. It's not something you can just forget easily. But I never contacted him again. Not once. The hardest times, I just work hard without stopping. Returning to my roots in design. Work overtime until the early morning without complaining of fatigue. On the weekend, I went hiking, visited exhibitions, and had hot pot with friends. Signed up for yoga classes. Also learned how to draw. Days are spent in a flurry of activity. Tired, but I sleep soundly. Later, I heard that he and that girl didn't last long either. The girl thought he was divorced. Still entangled for 3 years. After a few arguments, they broke up. He asked me how I was several times through his friends. Sighed they wanted to talk. I've rejected them all. It's not hate. I just really don't care anymore. Those days wasted in the mud, that lost dignity. Those endless nights and tears that never stop flowing. I don't want to touch it anymore. Girls, stop trying to feel important by being with people who don't love you. Don't try to prove how deep your love is by being clingy. Don't wait until the other person starts speaking harshly to you. Only then would they be willing to let go of themselves. True love doesn't require you to sacrifice your dignity and beg for it. You need to stand on tiptoes to reach it. It never belonged to you in the first place. Stopping losses in a timely manner isn't considered a loss. But you've finally woken up.